You ever wake up in the morning and the conditions tell you that you shouldn't go fishing, but you just really want to go fishing? Today is one of those days for me. The conditions are not great. I really, this time of year, like fishing a rising tide. Today we've got a meager fall that I hope's going to fall because we've got a 400-mile-an-hour southeast wind that you know is going to keep that tide from falling very strongly at all. So it might be a dead tide, which, as you know, if you regularly watch my channel, is my least favorite fishing situation. But what we got working in our favor is I'm betting the water's going to be pretty because the wind's been out of the southeast for the past couple days. Also, we're in kind of a pre-front situation, so you know, that's always good. Falling barometric pressure, not too low, but falling, definitely like that. And it's the right time of year, it's April. Fish are biting right now. So who knows? It's kind of a mixed bag. Happens often when you go fishing, but you gotta go to know, right? So come along with me, let's see what we can catch. All right, I expected a butt ton of wind, and I got a butt ton of wind. I'm gonna start with this Echo 1.75. Love this crankbait when I'm in kind of search mode, just trying to cover water, and that's obviously the objective today. Water's not really moving at all. Hopefully it does at some point, but it's not right now. As I mentioned, I think it wants to fall, but it's gonna have a hard time against this east wind. It's blowing, it's gotta be blowing low 20s. It's really, really windy. I ducked into this little bayou that I was hoping had some water, but it really doesn't. It's pretty shallow. Got a lot of snodgrass too, which is, you know, kind of a mixed blessing. Fish love it, but it can be difficult to fish. Definitely not crankbait friendly, but it's not too bad. Fishing this little bayou almost like a pond. It's, if you can see, 2 feet deep, not very deep at all. There's a new bayou to me, never fished it, which I like doing. Find all kind of crazy stuff doing this. There's a nice little bend coming up. Might have a little depth. It's 3.7 feet right here outside of the bend. So let's give this green hornet and matrix shad a try. Yeah, we're 6 feet in this bend. 7 feet. I'd have a lot of optimism in this place. 8 feet, 9 feet. If we had some tide movement. We're gonna hit 10. Let's see, we're gonna hit 10. Almost, 9.7. 10 feet, we hit it. There we go. All right, switch back to the Echo. Oh, what do we have here? What is this? Little trout. Little trout. Emphasis on little. It was a big hit, but it's a small fish. We got a face full of trebles. I appreciate the thought, dude. Why don't you do that again in a couple years, okay? No, no, no. Keep still, so go easier for you. There we go. Get out there and grow, big boy. Little trout are ferocious the way they hit. Oh, goodness. What are you? Another trout? Yep, hooked in the back. This is a 2023 keeper, I'm almost sure, but not a 2024 keeper. Let's check him out. Yep, he's 12 and a half. So we gave him some new body jewelry. Now we're gonna let him go. All right, looks like a pond right here. Our bayou continues that way. 6 feet right here. Definitely like this. I might post up here a minute and make a few casts. Yeah, actually 9 feet right here. Definitely like this. I may eventually go fish that pond, but let's, oh man, 11 and a half feet. Goodness. Well, something just hit right here. Right, chill. 10 feet this close to the shoreline. Wow. This is a great find. All right, let's explore this little hole right here. So my green hornet's looking a little rough. Put it through hell on my last trip into the marsh. I'm gonna change that to a limbo slice with this low light situation. Heavy overcast today. Deep water here. This is really my favorite deep water color. Let's see if we can find some trout right here. Definitely like this spot. Feel a lot better if this tide was ripping, but got to take the conditions you got, not the ones you want. Oh, ho, 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 ho. That was a little trout tap, 100%. All right, we gave it a brave, valiant effort. 2 bites, that's it. Let's go explore this pond. It's a good chance it's gonna be too grassy or too snotty, but it won't hurt to go check, right? Yep, a little bit of snot. Stringy snot. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, you think there's a little snot grass in here? Look at that. See if we can get that off. Yep. Seeing this water mixing up here. I'm hoping that tide's starting to move. Make a few casts with this limbo slice. 3/8 ounce death grip jig head. There's one. There we go. Feels super weird. Might be foul hooked. Might be a red. I don't know what we got here. Foul hook trout. Foul hook trout. Not even all that big a one. Go ahead, dude. Sorry about the injury. There's that same deep hole we stopped to fish. I went up in this pond, found it to be too shallow and grassy. Came back out and I can see this mixing water here. That's why I posted up. I made 2 casts, 2 hits, caught that one. Definitely some fish there, but they may not be big. Oh, another hit. Many times you find a situation like this. Oh, another hit. And you just got to change your angle to get to the bigger fish. Sounds crazy, but they'll group up in schools, of course. So you just got to kind of figure how those bigger fish are holding. Got a bunch of bites on that cast. I suspect probably not giants. This is one of those situations that you find and it's like you hear angels singing. It just looks perfect. Oh, another hit. Just 1,000 fish down there. All right, let's see if we can change our angle just a hair. I got hit reeling it in. There's one. You're gonna be a keeper? I don't think. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I think you're not. I think you're not. It's a hard hit. But not a big fish. It's a day for guppies. I'm getting hit every cast, sometimes multiple times on a cast, but it's just these little fish. All right, always difficult for me to leave a spot like this that looks this good, that's delivering bites, but gotta find some keepers. Show you this drop off. We're 3 feet right here. Watch what's gonna happen. Let me get my line in so we don't roll over it. 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet, 8 feet. I mean, we're barely even moving. And it fell off the 10. What a great ledge. What a beautiful spot. 12 feet right here, this close to the bank. I'll be back here at some point. All right, time to punt on this bayou. No luck. All right, came into a lake that's got literal whitecaps. Probably not the smartest move of the day. Probably need to keep in protected water. But I'm gonna make a few casts in here, see what I can run across. I fished this lake recently and caught some fish in here, so I've come back. For now, I'm sticking with this Echo 1.75. Definitely feels like the right bait with these conditions. On the way over here, I confirmed that the tide is falling. So I'm hoping the water in this lake cleans up a little bit. It's fishable, but it's not great. And I got a snag. This wind is insane. All right, I've made a switch to an ATV, a Bill Lewis ATV. It's a smaller profile crankbait. So I'm hoping to run across some trout in this lake in addition to some redfish. Now, believe me, that Echo will catch trout, as you've already seen today. But I think the odds are a little bit better with this bait. Oh, there's a fish. I think it's a red. Yes, it is. Redfish. On our ATV. Not sure he's legal. In fact, I think he's not. But it's a start. It's kind of the theme of the day. Fish that are not legal. Got both the hooks. He crunched it. Oh my goodness. So windy. So windy. All right, 15 inches. Not big enough. All right, this lake is just far too rough. I can't effectively fish it. Just trying to fight to keep position. It's just crazy. So I got to get out of here. Go in some smaller water for sure. Don't know where, don't know what I'll do, but I'll figure something out. All right, back in a minute. All right, it's gonna be a deep water trout kind of day, obviously. Can't fish any big water for reds, that's for sure. Got a beautiful looking ledge right here. See if we can catch a few fish here. Tide is screaming out. I don't know how it is with this east wind blowing so hard, but it is screaming out. It'll be tough to get down. All right, a few little half-hearted bites. We're gonna move on. Just keep working along in this bayou. Pulling baits down this ledge. 13 feet in the middle of this bayou. Oh, goodness, that was a good hit. Missed him. See if we can sit here a minute. Oh, there we go. That was a good hit. That was a good hit. Speckled trout. Speckled trout. Oh, lost him. That was a good fish. Man, shoot. Oh, there's another one. Another good trout. Going crazy on the surface. Let's see if we can land this one. Yep, we got him. We got him. Look how good this trout is. All right, big boy. About a 17-inch fish. Love it. Just nothing like a trout hit. Just nothing like it on a jig bait. So awesome. Oh, there we go. Not as big, but definitely a keeper. And he hit just as hard, that's for sure. All right, you want to go? Well, no, you come this way. Come on, dude. Welcome aboard. About a 15-incher. Doesn't require measuring. Just throwing up onto that flat, right up on that shoreline, and they're holding right on that ledge. You drop it down, they smoke it. There's one. Subtle, subtle tick. Ooh, it's a good fish. Hopefully he hangs onto that bait, that big heavy jig head. Got that 3/8 ounce death grip. They throw them really, really easily. This might be as big as the first one. 17, 18-inch fish, it looks like. Yep, real good fish. Real good fish. Whew. Really, really nice. Hooked really well. Was not going to lose him. No chance. Super important when fishing these ledges to slow way down. Gotta let that bait fall to the bottom after every hop. Definitely harder to do when it's this windy because you get so much belly in your line. Plus the wind kind of pushes your line along, which kind of pulls the bait. Definitely harder to maintain contact with your lure. Those fish seem to be right up on that ledge. You don't get a bite as you're pulling it past the ledge. Might as well just reel in. This is a pattern I'll fish for several more weeks until these fish move outside the spawn. The month of April's prime time for this, just absolutely prime time. And the good thing about it, obviously, you can fish this technique on the windiest of days like we have today because you're protected. Believe me, I wish it was calmer, of course. It'd make life a lot easier. But as we discovered, can't really fish the lakes today. Just way too rough. And one thing I've discovered on these videos, like when you're watching it back, you're like, oh, it doesn't look that rough. It's super, super crazy windy today, very windy. It's blowing upper 20s now for sure. I kind of suspected that would be the case. I just really wanted to go fishing. And I'm glad I did. So at New Orleans parades, they throw beads, of course, cups, panties, you name it. Depends on the parade what they throw. All kinds of toys and crap that your kids like that you throw away secretly when they're not looking. But in certain parades, particularly this time of year, they throw produce. Believe it or not, produce. Cabbage, carrots, potatoes, lemons. And my next door neighbor, Cameron Mudford, he and his wife Amanda went to a parade recently, caught a bunch of produce, way too much for them to consume. So they gave us a ton of lemons. So I'm gonna cook these fish for you, putting those lemons to use, show you something easy to do. Really, really tasty. Making a lemon sauce for fish. Super easy. So I'll show you that at the end of this video. Stay tuned for that. And why are these fish right here? I have no idea. Doesn't look like the best spot. You can see that water mixing right there. That's where I think they'd be. Unfortunately, that trap's in a really bad place to explore that. Odds are high of getting snagged. But I was just kind of cruising along this bayou, got that hit, posted up, made a few casts, catching a few fish. Oh. All right, looks like our spot kind of dried up. We can keep moving on. Come back and hit it again if we need to. Oh, there we go. Just moved down a little bit. They're right here too. Come on. Don't be shy. Ooh. Good trout, good trout. Beautiful trout. All right. Look how pretty this fish is. Look how spotted that fish is. I gotta get a picture of him. That's crazy. Goodness. Well, probably none in the marsh. Oh, smoked. Ah, snag. Broke off. Let's hope I have my leader still. I do. I do. All right, could be worse. Let's tie on another bait. So I'll give you a good look at this death grip. This is what makes this bait so awesome. It's got these ridges on the hook shank here. When you push the bait up onto it, it really can't pull off. I mean, they last forever. Your bait will get torn to shreds before it starts sliding down. I absolutely hate when you have a jig head and you set the hook and the bait slides down, because it kind of ruins your cast. You got to reel in and reset it. Never happens with death grips. Well, seldom happens. After a while, if your bait starts tearing, obviously at some point it may start sliding down. But when you put a new fresh bait on here, like this limbo slice matrix shad, it is not going to slide down. Oh, there we go. That was a good hit. Look how pretty these fish are. Goodness. Good Lord. That's a big one. That's a big speckled trout, man. That's a beautiful fish. Don't beat yourself up, dudes. I'm gonna let you go. We gotta see how big this fish is. Look at this. Look at this guy. About a 20-inch fish. Good Lord. Yeah, he's 20 inches. We're gonna let him go. That was a nice trout. Boy, that was a beautiful fish. Fishing this pattern, I've caught him up to 24 inches, which is kind of unusual, but every now and then you'll catch a 22. But 20 is still a really, really nice fish. I figured these fish would feed today, given these conditions. Obviously, it's a little bit uncomfortable fishing in conditions like this. You'd certainly rather it to be 72, sunny, flat calm. But so often the case, and you get kind of these pre-front conditions, super windy, lots of south wind, return flow off the Gulf. These fish just feed really, really well. There's a fish. I think I snagged him. I think I snagged this one. I didn't feel him hit. He was just kind of loaded up. No, no, beautiful trout. Good Lord. Look at this fish. Hooked in the mouth. Hooked in the mouth. Look at these fish. Dude. Come on, settle down. No, don't beat yourself up. I'm gonna let you go too. Oh, beautiful fish. So nice. All right, swim off, dude. Thanks for the fight. What a beautiful trout. That was a really, really weird bite. Didn't feel him at all, just loaded up. Thought for sure he was foul hooked, but he wasn't. Hooked right in the mouth. Oh, right under the boat. That's a keeper. Stay in the boat, boy. All right, post up right here. Where'd you go? Here you are. That's about a 14, 15 incher, perfect eating size. Oh, that's a good hit. That's a good hit. Good fish. All right. This is just so awesome. So awesome. Some really, really nice trout. It's about as big as I'll keep. About a 17-inch fish. All I'm doing is working back and forth in this ledge. The fish seem to be just kind of cruising along here, feasting on bait. Typically with this pattern, they're feeding on baby croakers. Now, none of these have spit up croakers yet, so I don't know what they're feeding on, but that's usually the pattern. Uh-oh. Well, not getting that back. Well, looky there, must be living right. Did get it back. Oh, what the heck? Is that a foul hook trout or maybe a red? I don't know what this is. It feels super weird. Gotta be a red, maybe. Nope, foul hook trout right in the belly. Right in the belly. It's a good fish too. Ugh. Well, I'm definitely gonna keep him. That's a fat fish, look at him. But he's losing his guts. So this fish will not survive. We're gonna keep him. All right, finally this east wind has stopped this tide. It's completely stopped. We had that sharp edge right here, that boiling water, and it's completely ceased. It's gone away. Still got the wind pushing the surface right there, but nothing like what we had before. And for this bite, this deep water bite, you've got to have strong current. Stronger the better. So I think this is probably over with. But I got plenty of fish. I might try 1 or 2 stops on the way in just to see if I can find something else. But I'm gonna call it a trip. Definitely a successful one. Kind of a slow start until this water started moving. But that's to be expected. And it'll be slow now this water's not moving. But we'll be cleaning our fish soon. Next time you see me, more than likely I'll be in my kitchen. See you then. All right, here we go. Welcome back to my kitchen. All right, this is a quick and easy dish to do. If you don't have a lot of time, it's gonna taste really good. Tastes like you spent a lot of time on it, but it doesn't take long at all. Let me show you what we got. All right, first off, the main ingredient, speckled trout fillets. Now, I'm just cooking for myself today for lunch, so I'm only making 4 fillets. Then we got some butter. Those lemons I mentioned, I took out 4. That's probably overkill. I don't need that many, but I'll just use what I need. Got our hawk sauce we've been using so much lately, really good stuff. Got some dried basil. Normally I grow my own basil, but I haven't planted a basil plant yet this year, and my local store did not have any fresh basil, so I have to use this dried basil. Not as good, better if you have fresh, but still very good. And that's kind of not really a needed ingredient. You get away without it if you don't have any, so don't worry about it. Definitely need the lemons, definitely need the butter. You can get by without the basil. Then we got salt and pepper to season our fillets. And then we've got our beef tallow. That's what I've been cooking fish in, so good. If you don't have beef tallow, you can use whatever kind of oil you typically sear fish in, but I definitely love this beef tallow. All right, first step, piece of cake. That's to season our fillets with some good old salt and pepper. And I typically season them pretty liberally. only on one side, only on the flat side. And that's the side I put down in the pan first so my fish don't curl. All right, back here I got my cast iron skillet. You can see that going, and it's smoking now, so it's definitely ready. We'll go ahead and put our fillets in. All right, first step, add a pretty generous amount of tallow. Got my fire on, probably just a little hotter than medium. Medium high, something like that. Okay, hopefully I can fit all these fillets in one batch. I think I can. All right, really beautiful sear on these, about perfect. They're gonna be tasty. And you cook the fish half as long on the second side as you do the first side. So they're done. Let's take them off. Fish cooks very quickly, particularly speckled trout because it's super tender. Not a lot of connective tissue in these trout fillets, which is why they can sometimes fall apart, like this one's doing. All right, once we get them out, we're gonna kill the fire. First up, we're gonna add some butter. Now, I only made 4 fillets, so I'm not gonna add a ton of butter. What's that, about, is that a tablespoon? I don't know what that is. About that much. Kind of let that brown a little bit. It'll brown just in the residual heat in this pan. It's collecting all that juicy bits of fish that are in the bottom of this pan and make our topping even better. All right, cut up one of our lemons here. All right, this one has no seed, so we can just go ahead and squeeze it in. Obviously, lemon and fish go really well together. So does lemon and butter, and so does lemon and basil. We're gonna put just a little bit of our hot sauce, a couple dabs, about that much, and a shake or two of our basil. That's enough. All right, got to get a pot holder because this handle in this pan gets super hot. Can't hold it. All we're gonna do is top our fish with this brown butter. All right. Smells like heaven. All right, here we go. It's the finished product. That's it. That's all there is to it. And it's still a little hot, but I'm gonna give it a taste test. Blow it. Very, very good. Super refreshing. A really great springtime dish, summertime dish. Make good use of these lemons, and the basil adds a nice backbeat. Really, really good. Love this. All right, make this at home. You won't be disappointed, I promise you. I know I sure as heck am not. All right, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the Marshman Masson channel on YouTube. You do that by clicking that button right there. Also, here's 2 videos YouTube thinks you'll like. Check those out if you have time. Until next time, if we don't see you in the marsh, we'll see you right here on Marshman Masson.